Welcome to Rev Sports. This is day one of the test match between India and South Africa has been absolutely chaotic. This is why everyone loves test cricket. You never know what's going to happen next. You never know what's coming next. First innings, Mohammad Siraj runs through the South African batting order. Second innings, Namre Burger, Lungi Ngidi and Kagiso Rabada run through the Indian batting lineup. But finally, at the end of the day, South Africa trail by 36 runs. And it seems like Shubhayan will be coming back much earlier than we thought. Shubhayan is joining us from Cape Town. Shubhayan, talk about the key turning points of the day's play.
Oh, absolutely crazy day. I mean, joint highest wickets in a day in a test match at Cape Town. So it missed out on a world record. World record is 25 wickets in a day in any test match. I mean, it was a crazy day. When South Africa were bowling, when they bowled the final part, 11 deliveries, 6 wickets, 0 runs. Can you imagine it? Have you ever seen something like this? So the pitch was a bit spicy, but I think it goes down to some poor batting by both the teams. Siraj bowled a terrific spell. Lungan Giri Rabada bowled a terrific spell. Mukesh Kumar bowled a brilliant spell. But at the end of the day, some of the shots they were flashing on the drive when the ball was moving around. So it goes down to a bit of batting, I would say.
Devashish, 23 wickets fell today and 270 runs scored. How do you look at this match? Was it everything you thought it would be? Did it take you by surprise?
No, had this happened in India, obviously there would have been hue and cry about the wicket, and means obviously few of the balls it just kicked up and few kept very low. Means and so there has to be a lot to ponder about the wicket. Means it has to come under the scanner because the way it behaved means 23 wickets falling means had it been the case on an Indian wicket, then there would have been hue and cry about a rank turner, a dust bowl, so stuff like that. But what about this? The wicket on day one of the test match in Cape Town.
Yes, absolutely. And Shubhayan, when you look at this, all of us had predicted a 120 run lead by the end of the day. But now with South Africa trailing by 36 runs, how does this match look to you now? You're on mute if you're talking.
Oh yes. So in all likelihood, it will end on day two. Here you can see a couple of Indian fans who have come out to support India. It's rare to see. It was rare to see some Indian fans here. But overall, it will end tomorrow in all likelihood. But I think they should have at least extended their lead to 150 runs, if not more. That's how it should have been done. But some poor batting by the lower order, middle order also. It was a good start. It was a good start by Rohit Sharma and even Shubman Gill played a decent role there. But after that, it all went downhill. Virat Kohli played a good knock, 48. Again, he did not get any support like it was the case in Centurion. So Shreyas Iyer, big question mark on him. People will ask question on him. He has done extremely well in Indian conditions, but outside that, his frailties against short deliveries remains a concern. Again, I think India should have extended the lead to 150, which they did not, and it goes down to poor batting more than anything else. But tomorrow, the first hour, I think India will look to pick up a few more wickets. At least three more wickets should be the target, and if they can get them as soon as possible, then we will have the result on day two itself, which again will equalize the record. Afghanistan versus India is the shortest test so far, so India has the chance to go on and their first ever test win in Cape Town and maybe possibly the fastest test match to end.
Yes, and Devashish, do you think India has done enough when it comes to runs, or could they have gone longer?
Definitely not. Definitely
Come
not.
on.
When
What you
you
want to ask?
bundle out your opponent for 55 runs, and one would have hoped that you would be in the driver's seat at the end of day one, at the end of Stumps. but that was not the case. We are still leading by 36 runs. But if South Africa, if say Aiden Markram, the way he has been batting along with David Bedingham, who looked very good in that first innings of South African first innings, if these two pair can stay in the middle for at least an hour tomorrow in the first session, if they can play out the first session and strike a partnership, then India will have all the catching to do. And remember, as I have said earlier, there have been few deliveries which are keeping low, which have been just taking over from good length spot. So batting will be very very difficult, and we have already seen means 23 wickets falling on day one. So I think India will rue the fact that they could not seize the opportunity, because to bundle out the opposition for 55 runs, and then at one point of time India were 153 for 4, and then from there on losing 6 wickets for 0 runs now in a span of 11 balls. There is no justification to that.
Yes, and Shubhayan, when talking about India's batting today, no one except Virat Kohli really stood their ground when it comes to batting. How do you see, the future of Indian Test squad when it comes to batting? Because it doesn't seem very bright right now.
Yeah, you are absolutely spot on, Gargi. Talking about Yashasvi Jaiswal also, the way he got out, he's so much potential, so much talent. But again, adaptability is something which makes Test cricket a great challenge. So Shubman Gill, Yashasvi, these guys will have to understand that you will have to adapt. You can't flash your drive. You can't be chopping on to your wickets every time you go on to bat. But it was a good delivery, no doubt. It was a good delivery, but these guys have so much potential. You expect a lot better from them, at least in overseas conditions. And of course, Shreyas Iyer again, as I said, he will have to sort out his short ball issues. Otherwise, when India travel to Australia later in the year, at the end of the year, it will be a huge problem. I don't think if he continues like this, everyone knows he has troubles with short delivery. So if they have to continue across conditions, then these are the few pointers. They will have to put a price on their wickets. Otherwise, it becomes extremely difficult for the likes of Rohit, KL, Virat Kohli, the experienced guys, to bail out the team every time. The bowlers have done an extremely good job in this series, in this match. Sorry, but again, the batters put them down today. They should have extended the lead to 150.
Devashish, when you look at the future of Test cricket in India, especially batting, you don't see a lot of batters wanting to take up Test cricket as a specialty. You've seen T20 players being manufactured a lot more. Of course, there's a financial aspect to it as well, commercial success, all of that. How do you see the change coming in?
See, Kargi, the fact is that we play England next in a few days' time, means after the Afghanistan T20 series, and we are definitely gonna win 5-0 if I am not wrong. Means obviously we will be the favorites to win that Test series, and then suddenly all this talk about Indian batting not clicking, not doing well, and remember we have won series against Australia in Australia twice in a row. So that is something none of the Asian teams have gone on to win a series in Australia, which our Indian team has done in recent times. We have won Test matches in England. We have done everywhere except South. Even for that matter in South Africa, since 2010-11, we have been winning test matches every series since that 2010-11 we have been winning test matches, but somehow or other we have failed to win a test series. Yes, conditions have always been very difficult in South Africa, as was evident today in Cape Town, and was the same case in Centurion. But then, having said that, see the guys like Yashasvi Jaiswal or Shubman Gill, they are great, decent batters across formats. So you cannot single them out that they are not good in one format, or no, they are good in so and so format. Yes, someone like a Yashasvi Jaiswal, it's early days for him in Test cricket. So why we shouldn't put a judgment on him that he has not done well. So his position will be questioned. No, no, no. It's just a one series. Means obviously, but with the passage of time, he will develop into a better cricketer.
Yes, Shomik Chakraborty is also joining us. Shomik, going back to the first innings, Mohammad Siraj really ran through the South African batting order. Talk about Mohammad Siraj. What really stood out to you about him? You're on mute.
Am I audible now?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So the first thing is that the way he corrected his length compared with the first as Centurion, the way he corrected his length. See the way the pitch played, you got to hit the right spot, and the pitch will do the rest. Bumrah was a bit. Bumrah tried to swing the ball and somewhat lost his way. Siraj. I mean, he hit the right length, he hit the right areas, and was handsomely rewarded. And also, I was very impressed with the planning part, because if you see the Dean Elgar's dismissal, the way way Rohit Sharma and Siraj worked in tandem. Dean Elgar played a flick shot during the early part of his innings. It is one of his favorite shots. So that route was blocked, and there was just only one fielder on the offside apart from the three slips and the gully. So what happened there? Siraj bowled him into his body. They bowled him into his body, and then there was one on the channel, on and outside the line of the off stump, and his eyes lit up. He tried to play on the offside. So that was the planning part, for which Rohit should be lauded. In the first test, Rohit's planning as a captain, Rohit was very anodyne. But in this test, so far, he has hit the right notes as far as tactics is concerned. But then again, 55 all out is one of is something a bit freakish. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen very often. It happens once in a blue moon. This has happened South Africa. Every uh, every ball that went past the bat that took the edge, sort of. Every catch was taken. So in the end, it was 55 all out. But unfortunately, India couldn't fully capitalize on that advantage.
Yeah, Shubhayan, going back to that point, what parts of Rohit's tactical approach really stood out to you today?
I think the aggressive field setting was something which stood out. Of course, when as a captain, when he was standing at the short forward leg, and that makes a huge impact when you are a Tony George. You see, this South African batting unit is very inexperienced. If you leave out Dean Elgar, so when you suddenly see a Rohit Sharma, you are star-studded at one point, and then you are thinking, okay, Rohit is standing. He's a good catcher. He has a bucket hand. If I edge it, he will catch it. And the attacking mindset of that slip cordon lead led by Virat Kohli was pumped up today. It clearly looked, as I said in our lunch live show, that this attacking mindset was missing in Centurion. They were very lousy, shoulders were down, they were not bowling good line and length. But as soon as they saw Bumrah and Siraj hitting the right length and lines, the entire slip cordon was behind them, and that's what makes this Indian team a great test unit in the last 5 years. So that is what makes made a difference in my opinion. The field setting to give Siraj an extended spell, which made a huge difference to bring in a Mukesh Kumar. Of course, I thought that first change should have been Mukesh Kumar instead of Prasidh Krishna, but again he made the correction very early, and then brought off Prasidh Krishna, brought in a Jasprit Bumrah from the other end. These tactical game plan today was spot on by Rohit Sharma. And credit to the team management as well, that they were behind the scenes. They did a lot and helped the captain in planning this tactical setup. And even in the second innings, the point which we were making in the first after the first test, that no one bowled round the wicket to Dean Elgar, but Mukesh Kumar did it today and got his wicket. So these are the small things which makes a lot of difference. He got his wicket, so a good farewell for Dean Elgar as well.
Yeah, and Devashish, do you think there were any particular aspects of the pitch that really made it difficult for the Indian batters to stand their ground?
Yes, yes, absolutely. If you look at the match, all the wickets have fallen from one end. Majority of
Hmm.
the wicket from the Kelvin Grove end, and I category I have noted two deliveries. Mukesh Kumar's. I'll just hold on for a second. If I'm not wrong, a delivery that just took off. Then it hit Dean Elgar in his thumb, and he was in some sort of concern, and the ball immediately next to that, it just kept low, very low. So there was unfavorable bounces, means, and you cannot expect such kind of behavior from a day one wicket. And there has to be an even contest between the bat and ball, and it was outrageously in favor of the bowlers, fast bowlers from both the teams, which is not fair for the batters, I would say. But still, yes, a few of the dismissals were because of the bowlers bowling in that perfect line just outside the off stump, especially the one that Ravada got rid of Virat Kohli. It was proper plan, back of the lane. It took the edge of Virat Kohli, and he was caught in the slip. So, but few of the deliveries. But what I'm trying to emphasize is that this is not an ideal day one wicket for a test match. Means, let's put it straight. Means, had it been in any wickets in India, there would have been hue and cry. What happened? What happened? Means, the British media, the Australian media would have been written, print hundreds of newsprints. But
Devashish, it won't take long. England are coming for the test series, so expect a lot of headlines like that. So it won't take long. But even Sean Pollock mentioned it. It's not a day one track. It's not a day one track where you don't have
one
a
one
balance between bat and ball.
one commentator who was telling it time and again was Mark Nicholas. None of the
Yes.
other commentators were making it a point, because
Yeah.
means, and what happens if the test match gets over in 2 days? What happens to the remaining 3 days? The people who has brought tickets, the people who has brought tickets, the viewership, telecasts. What happens? You go out, go and watch a test match, which is an event contest between bat and ball for all 5 days. See the
Imagine
series
a Keshav
happening.
Maharaj. Imagine a Keshav Maharaj playing his 50th test match. He won't. I think he won't get a over to bowl.
Over to bowl, right?
No,
Yes,
the
This
and
is
very
what.
Shubham,
fair
what
point.
were your impressions? Yes, yes, yes. Go on.
No, no, I'm sorry. Sorry. Very fair point that Devashish has mentioned. See, at what point a test match pitch becomes poor? You shouldn't have any problems with the bounce. If you have a walker like bounce, which is if it is consistent, you
Absolutely.
shouldn't have any problem. You shouldn't have you you adjust your game accordingly. You cut down, you don't play off the front foot, you don't play in front of the wicket. As far as walker is concerned, I'm saying you play on the square of the wicket, you play horizontal bat shots. Here, the basic problem is on day one pitch, it's the inconsistent bounce. You saw a couple of balls died down. Even when Tony Zorzi got out in the second innings, the ball died down on KL Rahul. But a lot of balls just took off a length. So this is not a proper test wicket. And ICC, I don't know whether what would be their assessment, but on the face of it, it should be rated as poor. This is not a proper test wicket. Absolutely not a proper test wicket.
Yes, and Shubhayan, even though India went in with an edge in the second innings, you still saw somewhat of a collapse. Was it bad judgment, or were the South African bowlers just that good? We talked about the pitch being, not that great for batting, but your thoughts?
I think that spell by Rabada and Engedi, it was good. It was no doubt good. But some of the shots, I think they could have played a bit better. Of course, not talking about that Virat Kohli delivery, which was a peach, absolute peach. There were a couple of deliveries which deserved the wicket, but apart from that, there was no application whatsoever by the tailenders. They did not put any effort to hang in around, try to score a couple of runs. I have at least whatever cricket I have seen, I have never seen 11 deliveries, 6 wickets, 0 runs. This is just something which was ridiculous. And even some of the journalists here who have covered 20-25 years of domestic cricket here at Newlands, they were shocked, they were stunned. They have never seen anything like this in Newlands. And as I said, joint most wicket taken in on the very first day at Newlands. I think the last record was something somewhere in 1959 or something. So that's a lot of before apartheid period. This was that's something which is baffling and shocking.
Devashish, does Pujara and Rahane's absence haunt the Indian batting lineup? What do you think? No,
No, no, no, no.
Shubhan's making
Let's let's
faces there
let's
already.
let's leave aside the discussion around
If you
Pujara and
don't give
Rane.
chances to new guys, who will take over
We
the
need to
next era?
Yes, but
we
it's
need
my
to
job to
look
ask questions.
we need to look ahead. We need to look ahead because Yashasvi Jaiswal, Shubman Gill, Shreyas Iyer, these are our future. We should invest in our future. We should give them time. Yes, it's you ask Rahul Dravid, who is the head coach. He will be a better person to say because even that great team that was led by Rahul Dravid, so it has Saurav Ganguly, Sachin Tendulkar, VVS Lakshman. Even they cannot win a series in South Africa. So it has always been a difficult country to tour, means as far as the touring countries are concerned. But we should need give time to the Yashasvis, the Shubmans, the Shreyas, because come the England series, you will see they will score tons and tons of runs. Let's not click the panic button. Yes, we have moved ahead of Chetashwar Pujara and Ajinkya Rahane. So let's give these players a fair amount of time before we make a judgment.
Yes,
Pujara
Shobit.
and Rahane did 3 tours of South Africa. Three
Yeah,
tours.
yeah.
I can recount only one innings each for Pujara and Rahane. So it's just a very unfair debate. Shreyas Iyer scored 1,200, 1,100 runs in Ranji Trophy before making his India debut. Let Rahane score that runs for Mumbai in Ranji Trophy, then we will talk again about Rahane.
But having
Okay.
said that, but having said that, I mean, we need to raise this question: is the next generation of Indian batsmen, Indian batters, are they good enough for Test cricket in difficult conditions? I mean, this is not. I mean, this pitch is poor to start with, but then again, Virat Kohli played because he is a great player. Virat Kohli played. He scored 46, and because he is a great player. But are we producing any Virat Kohli's or Rohit Sharma's or Shubman Gill is a standout talent? But when someone like Shreya Iyer is working out to bat in such conditions, you know he is a walking wicket because he cannot ride the bounce. Justice Jaiswal was bitten for pace. So these questions the Ajit Agarkar led selection committee seriously need to introspect whether I mean if the Ayers and Jaiswals are your future, are they good enough? Are they good enough for this? Pujara and Rahane, of course, yes. But what Pujara and Rahane can do, they can wear down the bowlers. Maybe Pujara will score 20 odd. And in this wicket, you are never in. On this pitch, you are never in. You can get an unplayable delivery at any time. Pujara, for example, he can, but he can wear down the bowlers. It was pretty hot. It was pretty warm at Cape Town. The conditions is not like Centurion. You can wear down the bowlers. So are we producing that sort of players? We need to ask another question. Someone like Sarfraz Khan, despite scoring millions of runs in domestic cricket, why on earth he is not being? Yes, he has a lot of batsmen. I mean, you in Indian conditions, you don't get to play. You don't get to play in conditions where it where the pitches are fast and bouncy. So he will have his shortcomings again, short deliveries, and in the last IPL also, Mark could exposed a chink in his armor. That is fine, but you need to look beyond. You need to create a talent pool. The Ajit Agarkar led selection committee needs to create a bigger talent pool rather than. And also, I think it is time. The pitch was poor. Everything taken into account. Both sets of batsmen, both from South Africa and India, it is a very average batting lineup. If you look at the Indian batting, who inspires confidence? Virat, Rohit, Shubman Gill. Done and dusted. In South Africa, you have Dean Elgar, and then you will try to Bedingham is a serious talent, and there ends the story. And when the ball darts around off the air or in the air or off the pitch, or when you are being asked to count a steep bounce, do these batters have the required skill set? This is a serious question.
But
Fair enough.
just to counter
Yeah.
that, Shreyas Iyer did extremely well in the home season of international Test cricket. Scored a century on his debut. Yashasvi Jaiswal did the same against West Indies. I agree, this is not the same West Indies as of past in the past, but still they have scored runs. You can't just say that Shreyas Iyer can't play short ball, so we won't play him in South Africa. The likes of Saurav Ganguly had problems against short ball for the entire of his career, but he still managed to score runs in overseas conditions. You just can't. Okay, Shreyas Iyer, as I said earlier, also he has issues against short balls. Whether he agrees or not is a different case, but you just can't drop someone who is averaging 50 plus in Test cricket so far. A very short career, but he has done well in whatever Test matches he has played. It is, I guess, his first failure in a Test series in international cricket. So you just can't drop it. And I'm pretty sure when England comes to India, mark this, I'm saying it, standing here in Town, Shreyas Iyer will score at least one, if not two centuries against England in India.
Yes,
Okay.
Tuban is absolutely right. But I'm looking at the bigger picture. I'm looking at long term. India will be going to Australia next year, and it would be a hugely important series. It's a five-test series. India would be going to Australia, and it would be hugely important in terms of qualifying for the next for the World Test Championship final. So, do we have the batsmen who can be good enough against the Australian bowling attack in Australia? That is the question. Can a Shreyas Iyer do that? Can he? Of
Shomikta,
Why
course,
you
he
why
also
the
can.
mentioned
why the
Sarfaraz.
why?
Shomikta, you also mentioned Sarfaraz Khan's name. He was exposed by express pace in IPL also. So again, shorter
Exactly, I
deliveries as
mentioned
well.
that. Yes, yes,
by
absolutely. I mentioned
by
that.
the
And
by
But
even
the
then,
time
even
the
but
Ajinkya
available
Rahane has issues against short balls.
yeah, but then again, you have to be courageous. I can recall someone like Mahinda Ramannath, who was not a very good player against short ball to start with, but he was dead courageous. He took blows. He took blows in his body against the West Indian fast bowling quadrat of holding Marshall, Garner, and Roberts. So you have to
so
be that
so
courageous
you mean
when
to say
you
you
can offset your technical shortcomings with courage. Can someone like Shreyas Iyer, for example, I'm not targeting him. I'm saying, can
No,
someone
no.
like Shreyas Iyer do that? So that is my question.
Shreyas Iyer
uh,
has pulled Mahmood for a six in
nobody is
IPL.
answering your questions whether India can make it to the WTC final before they reach Australia.
That's a,
They
that's
will they
that's
will
a
win
valid
series
point.
against Bangladesh. They will win series against New Zealand. They will win series against England. So you be rest assured that they will by the time they reach Australia, they will be more certain to be in a very good position to qualify for the WTC. I'm talking about the likes of these players, whether they have the courage in them. See, the more you play, the more you are accustomed to these conditions, the better players you will be. This the tour of South Africa will be a huge learning experience for these players. Say a Jaswasri Jaiswal or a Shubman Gill or a Shreyas Iyer. It will be a huge learning experience. And how good a cricketer is, it will depend on how they take the positives from this series. Yes, they they have chink in the armory, but then obviously their weaknesses are exposed, as is the case with Shreyas about his short bowling. But with passage of time, they will only improve as a batter. And if we still stick to Cheteshwar Pujara, who has played 100 Test match, or Ajinkya Rahane, who has scored tons and tons of runs, then where are we heading? If we don't give opportunity to youngsters, where is our Test cricket heading? We need to
Yes.
give opportunities to youngsters. Then we won't develop as a Test nation.
These are supremely talented players. Yashasvi is a special player. Devashish covered his debut series against West Indies. So, and we saw that in the Under 19 World Cup also. After Shubman Gill in this squad, if someone is as talented or anywhere near Shubman Gill in terms of talent, then it is Yashasvi Jaiswal. I'm pretty sure. Okay, he got an unplayable delivery in Centurion. He got a very good delivery, beaten by pace in today's match. But he's a special player, and he will score he will score many runs for India in the coming decade.
Absolutely, it's all about time because international cricket is not as easy as it looks on the television and on your laptop. So it's these, like Shubhayan said, these are extremely talented batters and bowlers coming out to play for their country. But Shubhayan, wrapping up this conversation, who do you think, which team do you think holds the advantage going into the next day?
Oh, India for sure, without a doubt. Of course, the deficit is not as much as I would have liked at the end of the day. but they still lead early on. There will be some movement again tomorrow. A moving day, maybe perhaps the last day of this test match, surprisingly. So
Yeah.
India are have the upper hand as of now. But if they allow Makram to play the way he is right now, attacking the bowlers, then I think they could have some issues. But right now, I think I'll go with 90% India, 10% South Africa if I have to make percentage prediction.
Okay, so that's it from us for this conversation. We'll be back tomorrow before the match starts once again. Stay tuned to Rev Sports.